The difficulty is a major talking point in today's video game landscape. Some games only have one difficulty setting, whereas others allow players to customize their challenge. In the God of War tradition, Ragnarok provides several settings that determine combat difficulty, though the game does not specify which is best suited for players. Still, how do you know which difficulty setting is best? And how does it affect the game? Let's find out. To begin, God of War Ragnarok Give Me Story is the easiest easy mode available. Most games include a very easy mode, and Give Me Story is God of War Ragnarok's equivalent. Said this mode simplifies battle. Most foes inflict little to no damage, but do deal some and are defeated in a few fast blows, allowing players to return to enjoying the story as soon as possible. Give Me Story doesn't make players immortal, and they can still die if they need to pay attention, but the mode provides a true power fantasy experience for gamers. It's also ideal for individuals who want to race through the campaign. Moving on, God of War Ragnarok Give Me Grace is a slightly more forgiving default experience. God of War skips straight from very easy mode to default mode in 2018. God of War Ragnarok provides a welcome middle ground option for players who find very easy too easy and default too challenging. The Give Me Grace mode for God of War Ragnarok is essentially an easy mode. Enemies deal more damage and have more health, but they are still fairly sluggish and die quickly. Following that, God of War Ragnarok Give Me Balance is your pretty standard default mode. Give Me Balance, as the difficulty mode suggests, provides players with a balanced experience. This is the game's default difficulty and how the developers intended most players to encounter the adventure. In Give Me Balance, adversaries do not deal much damage, but they do enough to challenge most gamers. Furthermore, they are speedier and can overwhelm unwary players, but what is an action-adventure title without a little difficulty? Next up, God of War Ragnarok Give Me No Mercy is meant for veteran action-adventure fans. If Give Me Balance is a normal difficulty, Give Me No Mercy is a hard difficulty in God of War Ragnarok. Enemies have significantly more health, attack much harder, and are substantially more aggressive. Furthermore, some adversaries may exhibit attack tendencies not seen in lower difficulty settings. While Give Me No Mercy will be difficult, it is far from impossible. Players that fight smartly and practice their reflexes, and have already completed the game, will eventually be able to complete the challenge. Moving on, God of War Ragnarok Give Me God of War is for hardcore fans looking for a nearly impossible challenge. Every game heavily relies on hack and slash combat and requires a difficulty mode that is nearly impossible for all but the most skilled players. Normal enemies morph into damage sponges and hit like a truck. The Give Me God of War difficulty tests players' reflexes and patience. In this mode, you'll be retracing your steps after dying for the 10th time in a row when you're not spending countless minutes chipping away at an enemy's health bars. Following that, God of War Ragnarok What is the best difficulty setting to play on? Each difficulty in God of War Ragnarok caters to a different type of player. Give Me Story is ideal for first-time action-adventure RPG players, whereas Give Me God of War is ideal for completionists who want to complete the game in every setting. But if you're looking for the best difficulty, Give Me Balance is it. I know it's shocking, the Give Me Balance option gives enemies the appropriate aggression, damage, and health level. Enemies are challenging, but they are costly. Furthermore, set-piece fights, particularly against bosses, do not outstay their welcome. Veteran God of War players can probably increase the difficulty to Give Me No Mercy, but we wouldn't recommend it for most players. Next up, we have God of War Ragnarok 10 best characters in the game. First, we have Brock, one of our returning characters. This colorful dwarf comrade may appear low on the list. Still, with several other characters not cutting at all, it's crucial to underline Brock's worthiness. Yes, he's just as crass and vulgar as in the last title, delivering a level of fun needed during or after some brutal sequences. He does, however, display some surprising depth and thoughtfulness at many points throughout the story, bringing a much-needed nuance to an otherwise one-note ally. At number 2, Mimir. Even though he's near the top of this list, don't be fooled into thinking Mimir lacks any charisma and charm seen in God of War. Mimir has matured significantly in Ragnarok, not so much in his disposition as in his relationships with Kratos and Atreus. He acts much more like a beloved uncle or even a second father figure to Atreus, and Kratos values Mimir's advice, frequently seeking and accepting it. After all, he is still just ahead, but that doesn't stop the world's smartest man from making this list. Following that, at number 3, Sindri. Another returning character, Brock's beloved brother, rounds out the list at number 8. He is frequently more eccentric than his blue counterpart, but he becomes intimately involved with the story throughout. Sindri, like his brother, went beyond simple comedic relief, displaying fantastic character depth. We saw hints of it in God of War 2018, but Sindri feels much more fleshed out in Ragnarok, complete with his arc and poignant character moments. Moving on to number 4, Angrboda. Angrboda, a new addition to the franchise, is immediately endearing. Angerboda, one of the last surviving giants like Atreus, immediately becomes an important character after her introduction. She shares Atreus' love of animals and provides some new insights on Jotunheimr and the destiny of the giants. Answering many topics that the previous title had just touched on by the game's end, Angerboda deserves to be so high on this list because she fits into the world, addressing lingering questions while challenging our knowledge of previous and future occurrences. Next, Thrud. Thrud quickly became a fan favorite after her debut. She shares some of her father's brusqueness as Thor's daughter, which is only enhanced by her genuine nature and enthusiastic warrior spirit. She provides more information about Asgard and Thor's personality, and even touches on her brother Magdi and Modi, two antagonists from the previous title. Thrud surprised me at several points in the storyline without giving too much away, cementing her as a fantastic and memorable character. Moving on to number 6, Odin. Odin's first impressions can be subdued. If you're expecting someone like Zeus from the original God of War trilogy, an imposing, hulking figure carrying the weight of Olympus, you'll be disappointed. However, as the game progresses, Odin's talent shines through. He's a thoughtful, devious, and yes, charming character who alters the player's expectations throughout the game. Finally, Odin provides a unique take on the role of King of the Gods, commanding respect from those around him. Following that, at number 7, Thor. Kratos and Atreus, Ragnarok's much anticipated antagonists, heard many horrifying stories about this bloodthirsty warrior during the previous game, and fans were teased with a dream of Thor visiting their house at the end of God of War. He does not disappoint now that he is finally here. In every scene, Thor appears to be a threat, hulking over those around him and exuding barely contained violence. Our understanding of Thor deepens throughout the game, and that menace is layered upon a fully formed character with a complicated past and complicated relationships with those around him. At number 8, Atreus. Atreus, Kratos' son and co-lead in this game, has gone a long way since his early adventures in God of War. Whereas he was once a young lad coming to terms with his godlyhood, he is now a young man full of purpose. With adulthood comes more disobedience, but much more maturely than his immature outbursts in the preceding title. Atreus has his fleshed out character arc running through the game's plot, and he's frequently pushing Kratos in multiple ways as he searches for significance in the prophecies uncovered in Jotunheimr. Next, at number 9, Freya. Freya, a terrific heroine introduced in the first title, is engaged in the sequel even more. Freya has sworn revenge on Kratos for killing her son Baldur, casting off the placid ways imposed on her by Odin's now broken magic. It would have been easy for Freya's powerful presence to leave an indelible mark on the story with her grief and anguish so beautifully portrayed in every scene to the extent of her role in the narrative. A bloodthirsty goddess out for vengeance. She is a rich, sophisticated character, and her VA's performance is second to none. Finally, Kratos. Kratos, the titular God of War, was very one-note in early titles, which led to his nuanced acting and characterization in God of War 2018 being a significant surprise. There was some doubt about whether the spark could be recreated after pulling off such a character makeover, but those doubts are promptly dispelled at every turn in Ragnarok. Kratos has continued to grow and mature as a character, displaying a depth of emotion that is both unexpected and totally in character at moments. His performances, nuances, and the progression of his relationships with Atreus, Mimir, and others earn him the greatest plaudits. What do you think of our video? Which setting is most difficult? What about the best character in the game? Is there a character that you would like us to add? Please let us know in the comments section. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.